The other day, I was thinking about major mindset shifts that transformed my trading. A big game changer for me stemmed from an interview I heard with legendary trader Tom Basso. Basso remarked that every trade he takes is simply one of the next 10,000 trades. Basso's comment didn't really mean much to me until I started to reflect on my own trading and the results I had been getting. Although I didn't realize it at the time, Basso was revealing one of the key mindset secrets of all great traders. Up until this point, I was looking to hit it big. I was on a treasure hunt for one big winner that would completely alter my life. I'd look for stocks that had all the attributes of a past winning stock and plow into them. Sometimes this would work, other times it wouldn't. Often I'd sell a stock only to watch it rocket higher just after I sold it. I was frustrated and beat up, just like someone who'd been on a roller coaster way too long. When you trade this way, you feel like the world is on your shoulders. You have to find this one stock out of thousands that will be the biggest winner in the market. You have to force all your money into it. You have to sit through major corrections. No wonder I felt like I was on a roller coaster. My account equity curve looked like one. I was living in a world governed by perfection. I needed to find the perfect stock, to buy it perfectly, and to sell it perfectly at its exact top. The odds of finding a stock that will rally 500% in a year is statistically very low. For instance, in a given year, how many stocks do you believe will rally this much? Maybe one or two, maybe a few more, but how many stocks will rally 15%? Even if you are able to buy one of these monster winners, the likelihood you'll be able to handle it properly and sell it at the exact top are extremely low. When you take a big position in a stock and try to make it a life-changing trade, you make decisions differently. If you really believe a stock is a game changer, it can be very difficult to cut your losses. It can also be difficult to admit you made a mistake. In addition, because you believe the stock is a can't miss, you may trade too large of a position and thus have difficulty emotionally handling even the slightest fluctuations. When you own too many shares, even a small pullback can seem like a repeat of the 2008 financial crisis. Due to your large position size, your emotions blind you to what is really going on. A major transformation for me was when I started to think in terms of probabilities, not perfection. That is, to think as a casino and not as a gambler. Rather than looking for one perfect stock that would change my life, I began to see my trading as a system that would allow me to turn over an edge over and over again. While I would not be right on each and every trade, over time, I would make enough on balance to see my equity curve rise. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of trading, let's take a look at roulette as an example to see how casinos think. If somebody walks up to a roulette wheel and places a bet on red and wins, was that a sound bet? No, it wasn't. Why? An American-style roulette wheel has 18 red numbers, 18 black numbers, and 2 green numbers. Because the probability of red landing is only 18 of 38, or 47.3%, a bet on red is not a statistically sound decision. If a gambler bets $500 to make $500, in the long run, he will lose money since the odds are not in his favor. Now, casinos are smart. They know that weird things can happen. Even if red hits 10 times in a row, do you think a casino would get scared? Do you think they would shudder in fear and start to worry that they are on the brink of financial collapse? Of course not. Casinos know that bizarre things can happen at a roulette table, but over thousands of spins, they know they will come out ahead. This is not some silly casino fantasy, it's math. It's right there in the probabilities. Casinos don't care about perfection. They really don't care if you win or lose a game here or there. They are concerned with probabilities over the long term. They set up the games in a way so that the math is in their favor. Gamblers don't think this way. They think, oh, if I could just win this one time, it could change my life forever. And because they disregard probabilities, eventually all gamblers lose whatever they bet at a casino. Now that we've examined roulette, let's transition to trading. If I buy a stock and it falls 40%, and I decide to hold on to it, and soon I see it rally 500% a few weeks later, was that a good trade? Of course not. Why? Because the odds of a stock falling 40% and then rallying 500% is very low. You'd be hard pressed to find any other examples of a stock making this sort of movement. If I had a strategy that relied on that type of action, sure, it may happen once in a blue moon, but over thousands of trades, relying on that type of movement would leave my account completely decimated. The same thing goes for sports. I recently saw a video that showed a fan who made an incredible shot on a basketball court. Now let me ask you, do you think NBA teams look at that video and say, wow, let's sign him up? Would you put your money on the line that he could do that again? We all know that he got lucky, and you can bet if you gave him 10, 20, or even 100 other attempts, he would be hard pressed to duplicate that same shot. It's the same thing with the stock market. In 2021, I'd read about these Reddit traders who made millions of dollars trading in GameStop. I shudder in fear when I see interviews of these type of traders because I know they're going to refuse to sell. But the odds of them ever getting their hands on any other similar situation is so low. I wish I could have the chance to convince them that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and they don't want to let it slip away. Odds of something like this ever happening again to them is so low. Simply put, they just got lucky and they made their money through luck without any skill. They're just like the roulette gambler and basketball player we discussed earlier. When you fail to respect probabilities, you live to face the consequences and are left with nothing but regret. However, if you look at and understand probabilities, it takes all the pressure off. See, when I think in terms of probabilities, I no longer have to be perfect. I don't have to worry about catching that one big winner. I don't have to worry about being perfect anymore. It's so liberating and freeing. For instance, let's say I sell a stock and then it heads higher without me. It's really no big deal, since to me, it's just one of my next 10,000 trades. It's an outlier, just like that fan who made the half-court shot on the basketball court. When I'm in a trade, I always ask myself, are you going to handle this trade like a casino or a gambler? This gives me the perspective to think in terms of probabilities, not perfection, and it takes the outcome of any given trade out of my mind. So what can you do to put your gambling days behind you and become a casino? First, you can look to use technical analysis to help you put the probabilities in your favor. While you will not be perfect, technicals will allow you to get a sense of what will happen over many trades. First and foremost, technicals can help give you a good sense of what type of market you are in, as trades will have a higher probability of working in a rip-roaring bull market than in a correction or bear market. In addition, you can use charts to help you manage your risk. Let's say I take 3 trades. On the first 2, I lose $100 on each trade for a total loss of $200. Then, on the third trade, I make $300. Here's an instance where I was wrong but still made money. That's how you let math and not perfection guide your trading. Going for higher trades like this allows you not to worry about being perfect and having to predict the market, and instead allowing the results of many trades to put you ahead. When you think in terms of probabilities, not perfection, you no longer have to second guess yourself and live a life of regret. There's no more woulda, shoulda, coulda, or crying about that one trade that got away. Instead, it just becomes one of the next 10,000 trades that will soon be forgotten. The next time you place a trade, think about the gambler and the casino owner. How would each of them think about that trade? And when you start to view the stock market this way, you soon realize the wonders of adding a little math and probability into your life.